Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, the food delivery service that brings fresh, pre-portioned ingredients right to your doorstep so you can prepare a meal in about 30 minutes. HelloFresh offers veggie, pescatarian, and fit and wholesome meals, which makes it easy to stick to your goals. HelloFresh is also great for customization if you want to swap sides or proteins or add additional proteins to your meal. We're coming into fall and it is a busy time of year, and HelloFresh is a great way to save time and get delicious food right on the table with foolproof step-by-step recipes include pre-portioned ingredients, which means less prep and less food waste. And just in time for fall, get the kids involved in the kitchen with delicious sweets with HelloFresh's limited edition kid-friendly baking kits. And this week, my family's favorite meal was the crispy Parmesan chicken with garlic scallion couscous and lemony roasted carrots. So if you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, click the link down below or head over to HelloFresh.com and use the code emmymade16 to receive 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. Big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and for allowing me to make better videos for all of you. So today we're going to be making DIY homemade Crunchwrap Supremes for significantly less than what you would pay if you went through the drive-thru. Now I admit I have never had a Crunchwrap Supreme, although I can easily imagine what it tastes like. I find a lot of things on the Taco Bell menu are just permutations of the same ingredients, just different shapes. Maybe things are on the outside or on the inside, but I can imagine this tasting good. I, as a child, ate many Taco Supremes. That was my favorite, crunchy, of course. And I've never had a Crunchwrap Supreme, which is essentially a flour-wrapped, grilled Taco Supreme, if you ask me. There is a tostada shell inside, so you get that crunchy shell. You've got the meat, you've got the lettuce, you've got the tomatoes, a little bit of nacho cheese instead of shredded cheese. I guess that's a little bit different. And then it's all encased in a flour tortilla, wrapped up, parceled, and grilled so it's nice and toasty. So you get a little bit of that quesadilla-ness. So first thing we need to do is taste a Crunchwrap Supreme. So I have one right here. Here it is in this bag. This was $5.99 for this. So let's break this down. There it is. That is the one side. And here is the other. So it's a tortilla and it has been grilled and toasted. And inside we have lettuce, tomato, tostada, nacho cheese, and some ground beef. And let's see, I'm curious to see how much ground beef is in here. Not too much, I would just say a couple tablespoons really, kind of all mushed in there. And let's go ahead and give this a taste. Cut it in half. That's what it looks like in profile. And let's give it a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. The tostada is no longer crunchy. I was hoping I'd get a nice big crunch, but this has been sitting in its bag for a few minutes. So the moisture from the sour cream and the meat and cheese has kind of softened it. But in terms of what it tastes like, it tastes pretty good. You get that well-seasoned, salty, beefy meat. Cheese kind of keeps everything moist. I like the crunch of the lettuce and the additional just greenery. Got some fresh tomatoes in there. You've got the sour cream that kind of binds everything together. What it is missing for me is that big crunch. This is a crunch wrap. After all, had I eaten it freshly made, I think that crunch would still be there, but you still have that kind of nice fried corny flavor in there as well. The flour tortilla on the outside's a little bit dry too, but also again, this has been sitting. Is this an improvement to the Taco Supreme? I'm not really sure. I know I have nostalgic bias towards the just regular crunchy Taco Supreme, but I think in just terms of my own personal preference, I've always preferred crunchy corn to flour tortillas. So the version I'm going to be showing you today hopefully will taste as good, if not better, than Taco Bell's. But besides that, it'll save you a ton of money. My version will cost you around $2 as opposed to the $5.99. That's before any kinds of tax or delivery charges for the Taco Bell version. So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so I've got a skillet here heating up on medium heat. I'm going to warm up a little bit of oil. And I've got 1 pound of ground beef. This was originally at $5.99, but my grocery store had this on sale for $4.49. So this 1.12 pounds of ground beef was $5.03. And then I'm going to be seasoning it with a packet of taco seasoning, and this was 99 cents. So one crunch wrap will use about 75 cents of seasoned meat. That includes the price of seasoning as well. So I've got a little oil in the pan. If you're using a nonstick pan, you could skip the oil. Drop the meat into there. And we're going to break that up. Whenever handling raw meat, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly before and after. Now we're just going to fry this up until all the ground beef is cooked. Now, I've noticed Taco Bell's ground beef is pretty saucy and wet. So we are going to imitate that by keeping in all that lovely grease. That's tons of flavor. This is 85%, I believe, or 80% ground beef to fat. I actually prefer fattier beef because I find it's more flavorful. If you'd like to drain off excess fat, by all means, do so. And then I'm going to add 1 packet of taco seasoning. This is already salted, so there's no need to add any additional salt to this. And some water. Add a little at a time, and we're just going to bring this up to a simmer and cook this until all the beef is cooked. You'll know that when you don't see any pink left and the meat looks nice and crumbly. Okay, so while that's just simmering away, it won't take long, just a few minutes, I'm going to prepare my veggies. So I have a head of lettuce. This was $1.99. Peel off the outside wilted bits. And about 1/4 inch slices. So 1 small head of lettuce would be enough for 16 crunch wraps, I'm estimating. So even if it was 12 crunch wraps, this would be 16 cents worth of lettuce. We also need some chopped tomatoes to make this a supreme, and this tomato actually grew in my garden. I will put the variety of tomato here because I forgot which one this is. I grew a few varieties of tomato, but I'm so happy with this variety. I will definitely grow it next year. It's perfect size for 1 serving for me, and they also keep pretty well too. I picked this a few days ago and it's not bruised, it's not overly mushy, not overly ripe. Lovely tomato, love it. Okay, so since I grew this tomato, it was essentially free. And for 1 crunch wrap, if you were to purchase a tomato, it would be about 12 cents. Okay, so veggies chopped. Set these aside. Come back to the beef, and this is looking great, lovely and saucy. And this is finished. When I calculated the 75 cents worth of beef, I calculated 8 crunch wraps. But now looking at this, I think this could make more like 12. Did you see how little meat was in the original? If you want to make it Taco Bell style, it's just really a couple tablespoons. But if you want to be more generous when you're making your own, by all means, I said 8 portions for 1 pound, and is still a lot of meat per crunch wrap. Next, we need some cheesy sauce. This is Tostitos. This is the pre-made stuff. This was $4.89, so if we use an ounce of this, this works out to be 33 cents worth of sauce. So it smells actually like chili peppers, but I'm going to warm this up so it's nice and meltable. So now we're ready to assemble the crunch wrap. Find the largest tortillas that you can find, the flour kind. If you can't find giant ones, you can find smaller ones, and you can make a little patch for the middle. Even my Taco Bell version one had a little space in the middle, so if it doesn't cover it entirely, everything will be fine. Take some of our ground beef, seasoned meat, place it in the middle. I'm draining it a little bit so it's not too juicy, and keeping things in the middle. Next, we're going to top that with a little bit of our melted cheese. Next, we're going to top that with our tostada. This is a deep fried corn tortilla, 12-cent tostada on top. Next, I'm going to take some sour cream and spread it on the tostada, and that's about 12 cents, 16 cents, depending on how much you put. Then we add our lettuce, just a pinch, and tomatoes. Now we're gonna fold everything up. Just like it's got a little diaper. Oh, this is the perfect size tortilla. Look at this. Perfect. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Now we're gonna turn it over so that it kind of squishes down. And I've got a little nonstick fry pan. And now I'm gonna put a drop of oil in there, a couple drops of oil. Swizzle that around. And then we're gonna place our crunch wrap right into there. Give it a good press. And I'm choosing to put it seam side down just so we can get everything to stay shut. Spin it around, get it nice and oily, and we're gonna fry it up a bit. And then we're gonna give this a taste. Okay, we're ready to flip. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous. Alrighty, lovelies, this is complete. Homemade, and this is the original. But I would say that's a pretty good looking dupe, right? Alrighty, let's go ahead and cut this open. That's a crunch. Granted, I just made this, right? It hasn't been sitting in a paper bag for any time at all. Just made it. Pretty good. Here's the original. Itadakimasu. The flavors are pretty spot on. I find in the homemade version, I taste the sour cream more than I did in the original. And the original tastes saltier. The taco seasoning is delicious. The crunch of the tostada inside is still present. It's not as soggy as the original, but again, this was just freshly made. But I like how the tostada not only gives that little bit of crunch, but it also gives that kind of fried, corny flavor to it as well. This is great. It tastes just like Taco Bell in my opinion. I have not had Taco Bell's hot sauce in so long, so I'm gonna try a little bit of that. This is the mild. Pretty mild, watery. Not my favorite. I'm just gonna skip to, this one's Diablo. I'm guessing this is the hottest one since Diablo means devil. Here we go. That actually has some heat. In terms of heat though, it's still very mild. I would say around the level of a Tabasco. Very different flavor than Tabasco, not smoky. This is more just kind of like a cayenne heat and a slight chili flavor. Not much. A little moisture too, if your situation's a little dry, maybe some Diablo. But it does add another facet to this meal by giving you some actual chili heat along with the heat of just cooking the meal itself. All right, Mellows, there you have it. DIY Crunchwrap Supreme. Delicious, tastes just like the original for a fraction of the cost. Thanks so much for joining me, and big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, click the link down below or head over to hellofresh.com and use my code emmymade16 to receive 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. I love hearing from you. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. I'm bleeding. I'm a vampire.